right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Former President Trump defeats Nikki Haley in the South Carolina primary. Why she's vowing to stay in the race as Trump eyes the GOP nomination.
Well, it's been a while since we've had severe weather in our region. We're already highlighting a day coming up next week, what that means for us, and when we'll see temperatures near record highs over the next few days.
Round 2 for City SC. Soccer fans pack downtown St. Louis for the home opener. High expectations for the club's sophomore season after last year's historic start.
Like everybody's there for one purpose, and it's to watch your team play and win.
St. Louis soccer fans are celebrating the new MLS season. You're taking a live look now over City Park, where the home opener just wrapped up. Tonight's match ending in a tie. Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon. City SC looks to continue to make history in its second season. 5 on Your Side's Annie Krall catches up with all of the fans.
St. Louis's soccer team literally fired up to play for a roaring home crowd Saturday night against Real Salt Lake. Gates open for the home opener for City SC on Saturday at 6 o'clock. As you can see behind me, we have crowds and crowds of people just funneling in. I got the chance to talk to one season ticket holder and her husband who drove 3.5 hours from Springfield, Missouri to come to the game.
And I grew up playing soccer, so I want everyone to play soccer.
Rebecca Dunn and her husband left their 2 girls at home with family because they just haven't taken a liking to this sport yet, in favor of dance. Delighted by seeing all the families with their children at the City SC block party enjoying the festivities.
I wish I had it. I wish that I was a soccer mom, because I want to take my kids to soccer games. So I love when parents say, oh, my kids are playing soccer, and I'm like, yes. Keep pushing soccer.
Someone who definitely is a soccer dad is Alex Kerford with his son Anderson, who were some of the first people in line for the home opener. Anderson, already a massive City SC fan in his short 9 years of life, giving a rather poignant analysis of this year's team.
Honestly, I think Berkey saves us a whole lot, and this is my favorite team.
Anderson isn't alone. Almost 23,000 seats in the stadium, filled with fans ready to potentially watch back-to-back Western Conference regular season crowns. Reporting outside City Park, Annie Krall, 5 on Your Side.
And the next game is a rematch against Houston, who City SC beat this week in the CONCACAF match. They'll return to City Park next Saturday against New York City FC. Holden Kerwicki will have a full recap of tonight's match later in sports. Tonight, former President Donald Trump is a step closer to becoming the Republican nominee for president. He defeated former Governor Nikki Haley in the South Carolina primary. Haley got 40% of the vote in her home state. Despite the loss, she's vowing to stay in the race.
I said earlier this week that no matter what happens in South Carolina, I would continue to run for president. South Carolina has spoken. We're the 4th state to do so. In the next 10 days, another 21 states and territories will speak. They have the right to a real choice.
Both candidates now headed to Michigan for that state's primary. Next Saturday, Missouri Republicans will vote in the state's first caucus in more than a decade. The suspect killed in a Central West End break-in is now identified. It happened just before 4 Wednesday morning at the Masonic Lodge on Westminster Place. Police say 48-year-old Jannard Howard broke into the building and made his way upstairs. That triggered the alarm, which woke up a resident. That person confronted Howard and shot and killed him. The city's homicide division now investigating. Tonight, a Chesterfield man is dead after a crash involving a tractor trailer. It happened around 12:30 this afternoon on I-270 near Doherty Ferry Road. Missouri Highway Patrol says a man named Guy Porter was driving north and merged in front of the truck. His car crashed into the median and overturned. He was rushed to the hospital where he died. That truck driver was not hurt. Tonight, the Kansas City DJ killed during the Chiefs Super Bowl parade was laid to rest. Hundreds attended the funeral for Lisa Lopez Galvin. The 43-year-old wife and mother was among the more than 20 people shot during that parade last week. 2 men are charged in her death and 2 minors face gun charges. Lopez Galvin was buried wearing Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker's jersey, a request from her husband. Just hours ago, a cornhole tournament in Richmond Heights to raise awareness for domestic violence. The fundraiser happened at the VFW Post 3500 in honor of Christina Horsfall. She is a survivor who is still recovering. She and her son were hurt when her then boyfriend shot them last October in Franklin County. Christine is now speaking out and encouraging others.
There's a lot of people that are going through domestic violent relationships that are scared to leave, or feel unsupported, don't feel like they have anyone around them that would understand. Speak out and to continue to share your story, to gain strength for yourself and for other people around who might be going through the same situation but are suffering in silence.
If you or someone you know needs help, you can call the Safe Connections Crisis Helpline at 314-531-2003. Well, the St. Louis County Parks Department is highlighting Black History Month this month. An expo happened, this event happened this morning. I think we have that video if we want to check it out. This is at the North County Recreation Complex. It featured more than 30 local vendors. People could find clothing and jewelry, even a variety of health and wellness products. A foster and adoption agency also on hand to bring awareness to a pretty big need. Tonight, the Gateway Region YMCA held a Black History Gala in Ferguson. The formal event was an opportunity to showcase the work of local Black artists and to raise awareness for local causes such as community health. Organizers say the goal is to celebrate Black history not only in St. Louis, but all around the world.
Black history is 365, and it's not just Black history within America, but it's throughout the diaspora. So we want to make sure that we definitely put forth that message that it's an everyday thing, and we're continuing to make history.
Dr. Mike Macklin, the new superintendent for the Special School District, was tonight's keynote speaker. Prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell also made remarks. If you want to learn more about Black history in St. Louis, just text the word history to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link. An urgent need for blood. The 2 St. Louis organizations calling on you to roll up your sleeve. A St. Charles daycare closes abruptly, leaving families in turmoil.
Like, we don't have family here. Like, I don't have friends to reach out to watch my kids.
Tonight, the I-Team reveals new information about the child care crisis in Missouri and how one lawmaker hopes to solve it.
Well, just about every single day this month, with the exception of a small handful above average. 70s, one number we haven't seen, 80. Is it possible that we see that before we end February, and what that means as far as records coming up?
St. Louis Police and the Cardinals teaming up to encourage you to roll up your sleeve. This morning, a blood drive at Busch Stadium. The partnership began about 2 years ago when a pair of St. Louis police officers were hurt in the line of duty. One of them needed 38 units of blood after being hurt on the job. That's more than the human body has at once. The Red Cross says every 2 seconds, someone in our area needs blood.
And it might be because of a trauma, like a shooting or some kind of a violent incident, or for a transfusion for cancer patients, for anemia patients, and so on. The only way we can save someone's life through a blood donation is through, like the people you see behind me, who are taking a little time out of their day to help save a life.
Right now, Red Cross is experiencing its lowest donations in 20 years. If you'd like to help, you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Well, wind is going to start to pick up a little bit by tomorrow morning, especially out of the south and southwest. What that does for our temperatures tomorrow and over the next few days before change is on the way.
Tonight, a closer look at an escalating problem affecting families in St. Louis and across the nation, the child care crisis. Our I-team uncovered new information about a daycare that suddenly closed in St. Charles. Senior investigative reporter Paula Vassan explains how it sheds light on a much larger issue.
On the outside, Madeline Lowe is staying strong for her 3-year-old. But on the inside, the sudden closure of her daughter's daycare has her in turmoil.
Dealing with scheduling issues with my boss and missing class.
Her master's in biology may be put on hold.
I have to change my entire schedule.
All because of the indefinite shutdown of Waverly Forest Academy in St. Charles.
So when this happened, that hit hard. We don't have family here. I don't have friends to reach out to watch my kids.
Watching Lily came with a hefty price tag. Parents paid up to around $18,000 for a yearly full-time slot. Not enough to keep this place running. The owner told me it came down to a staffing shortage. Now, parents are scrambling.
How hard is it to find childcare? Extremely hard, extremely hard.
But the closure of this daycare is just the tip of the iceberg.
It's not just parents struggling. Daycare owners are too. It's a high-cost business without much, if any, profit. You've got the cost of repairs, food, and staff. Enough staff to follow strict student-to-teacher ratios. In Missouri, these teachers make around $13 an hour. Too often, it's not enough to stay. It's why 60% of the counties in our state are child care deserts. It means more than 100,000 young kids may not have access to care. And for their parents, going to work might not be an option. The economic impact is staggering. Missouri's economy is losing $1.3 billion a year.
The I-team has been tracking the downward spiral for years.
People just aren't coming to work in childcare.
Last year, we sat down with State Education Department spokesperson Nancy Shear for answers.
Some are closing because they can't get the staffing, so they can't get the children, and so they just can't make their budget.
With some wait lists up to 2 years long, lawmakers in Missouri see an emergency.
Oh, absolutely.
State Representative Brenda Shields is pushing for tax credits to make child care more affordable and available.
Would this legislation address the underlying issues?
We are motivating our businesses to contribute to child care facilities so that they can increase their quality. And we're also incentivizing our business and the other tax credit to be able to sponsor child care slots for their employees.
Does your legislation go far enough?
We'll never know unless we begin.
For now, these parents feel a constant weight.
Overwhelmed, to say the least. Very overwhelmed.
Many families tell the I-team finding childcare is a constant struggle. Representative Shields' bill is moving forward and could become law as early as August. The closure of Waverly Forest Academy serves as a stark reminder of the urgency of the situation and the need for meaningful action. For the I-team, Paula Vassan, 5 on your side.
And if you'd like to get in touch with our I-team, leave a voice message at 314-444-5231 or email Paula directly at tips@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential. Time now for your Weather First forecast. If you thought it was a bit too chilly today, hang on because tomorrow's coming. Isn't that right, Gary?
I know, Brent, and if you want some snow, I'm afraid you're going to have to go check it out. This is the last weekend for Hidden Valley, so and with good reason, right? That's why I got the snow behind me. Take advantage of it while you can, because obviously tomorrow is a significant change, and that's kind of what we're seeing over the next several hours. But I do want to talk about what a nice sunset it was, and then, of course, the moonrise. We've seen this full moon here. Catherine shared this from St. Paul, a very nice, colorful, bright full moon from Allen and Breeze, the snow full moon. So aptly named, not much snow on the ground unless you're in Hidden Valley. This is from our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers page on Facebook. So thanks so much for sharing those photos. We try to sneak a few of them in every so often, so thanks so much. 42 right now. We've already transitioned our breeze to the southeast right now. We got to 48 today, and you know, right now our average temperature so far for the first 24 days is 45.9. That's the second warmest February on record thus far. So we're trending up tonight. I don't think we're dropping all that much with that south-southeast breeze settling in. 37 is about as far as we go tonight. And you'll notice where it's not all that bad, right? It's still, temps haven't fallen. We're on the transitional side. This is kind of what we were in today. We're starting to warm up, and you have temps close to 60 degrees in Tulsa at this hour. That's the warm air mass that settles in for the next couple of days. Primarily the warmest on Tuesday before that change arrives on the way. But let's start off with tomorrow, as temperatures are going to work their way in the low 70s with a southwest breeze at 10 to 15 miles an hour. You may wonder how close that is to a record high 76 tomorrow. Not quite there, but very close. Sunday and Monday, I don't think we have a problem breaking it on Tuesday unless we have rain early or clouds early. Right now, it looks like maybe clouds early, but still 82 degrees. Now, as we see this next system in the Pacific interact with this colder air and another system diving down from Canada, I think we're going to see a pretty good increase in our wind and lift for these storms to develop, but it's a matter of, can we get this to come together? I think that we're going to see a couple of different things as this system arrives, and one of them being the fact that we have a severe risk, like I mentioned, a 15% severe risk, but it's going to be windy regardless, right? But the timing of the front with other ingredients that it has to work with, the storms may develop south. That's still in the cards, but we're going to watch that carefully over the next few days. So that's Tuesday into Wednesday as we break that 82 and finish it with a 41. Those storms in the very early morning hours before temps continue to fall. In fact, Tuesday into Wednesday may still end up being above normal because our midnight high probably be in the mid-50s before falling the rest of the day. We'll be right back up by next week.
All right, my friend. Thank you much.
Yep.
Well, we've got Holden Kerwicki in the place, and talk about sports in the city today.
Yeah, it was a big night in St. Louis sports. We had the Cardinals, Blues, SLU, and CSC all in action. Stick around to find out which teams came away with big wins and who was left singing the blues. Next in sports.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
After months of waiting, City Park came back to life tonight as City SC opened the season with a clean slate and a healthy roster as they welcomed in Real Salt Lake. Fans once again proved that City Park may have the best home environment in the entire league, and they got their money's worth tonight. In 22nd minute, City with a corner. It finds the head of Klaus, but it's stopped by a backline defender not once but twice, and Real Salt Lake clears. We're going to fast forward to the 73rd minute. Real Salt Lake strikes first behind the right foot of Christian Arango. And, well, he's got a reason to celebrate, but that's okay because just 5 minutes later, Samuel Adeniran is going to get wide around the defender and use a strong left foot to level it at 1. That's where this game would finish in a 1-1 draw.
Thank you to the fans. I mean, what a turnout by the fans. I think that kept us in the game through the second half. And, yeah, not all evenings are going to be picture perfect, and not all evenings are going to be, you know, successful in the eyes of how we imagine things. But, you know, what I love about this group is the fire and the fight to get back into something, right?
The Blues ran into a buzzsaw today in Detroit. The Red Wings scored 4 goals in the first period, forcing Drew Bannister to pull Jordan Bennington as Detroit picked up the 6-1 win. The lone bright spot for the note was Zachary Bolduc. The rookie picked up his first career goal in the second period, but he admits that's not enough at the GameStop level.
You got to be good on 200 feet. I mean, you can take a shift off. I mean, every shift is important, and you gotta work hard every night.
Taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
The Cardinals opened Citrus League play with a split squad games against the Marlins and the Mets. They dropped the game to Miami 9-8, but it was a different story against New York. Lars Nootbaar got off to a fast start in the spring. This little seeing eye single drove in 1 and put runners at the corners with no outs in the third. Just 2 batters later, though, Lucan Baker would bring them home. He dumps this little liner into center. Cardinals would lead 4-0 after the third inning. We're going to fast forward to the 7th inning, though, and Thomas Sagasi, he's going to get into one, and you're going to love how the ball just explodes off his bat. Get up, baby, get up. Not up enough. It goes off the top of the wall. 2 come around to score, and the Cardinals beat the Mets 10-5. Back home in St. Louis, the SLU Billikens look to snap a 3-game skid against George Washington. The Billikens had their hands full all night long with James Bishop IV. He went 11 for 20 from the field, 7 of 11 from range on his way to 34 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. But SLU has a guy who's pretty good shooting in his own right. That's Gibson Jimerson. He scored 19 points of his own as SLU wins this one. 96-91 is your final. Coleman Hawkins may have cost the Illini a game earlier this week, but he responded in a huge way today in Champaign against Iowa. Just over 3 minutes ago, Hawkins picks off the pass and takes it coast to coast for the big right-hand slam to give the Illini a 9-point lead. Hawkins would put up 30 points, 5 steals, and 5 assists as the Illini beat Iowa 95-85. After the game, Brad Underwood said the performance was the result of a long shot.
I thought his approach the other night at Penn State wasn't very good. I thought it was immature for a senior. He made mistakes that a senior shouldn't make. We had a hard conversation, and tonight he responded.
I don't know if that conversation may have been suitable for TV. Kind of like the Mizzou highlights. I didn't run them. Mizzou obviously took an L today.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary.
Yeah, there's no highlights.
You're right. You're right. It's true.
Nor is he wearing his black and gold tie like he normally does.
Football season's over.
All right.
They don't want a game, Brent. Man, this is.
He will wear one
I'm
when
a
they win a
realist.
game.
You know, the positive is like I spent some money on the football season. I don't have to spend any money right now.
Well, there you go.
Hey, I'll save myself a couple dollars, especially because we're going to spend it on the patio for the next few days. Looking out this weather, first couple days of the week, I mean, it is going to be warm and windy, and it's even warm in the evening, and that's usually what's tough sledding for us into the evening. Once the sun goes down, usually it cools down, and man, when it's getting in the mid to upper 70s and low 80s, we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, we are. We're going to get you another black and gold tie, even when it's not.
All right, I'll do it for you.
Football season. Thank you, my friends. That's all of our time. We hope you have a great weekend.